back to the action. We'd like to update everybody with some chip counts. Go ahead, Paul.
We've got Corey in the lead with 12,600. Ed in second with 7,575. Paul in third with 6,925. And Max in fourth with 63.
Turn it off on the side. Turn it all the way down.
We have Marco in fifth with 4,875. Mark behind him with 4,400. Trailed by Dan with 2,950. And following, leading the pack, not really, Bobby with 2,425 in chips. Let's get back to the action.
And Dan going to have to make a move fast to get some chips together here. I think he's going to have to start being a little more patient.
All right, we are coming.
Those mediocre.
Chris, everything's recording?
Everything is good.
Awesome. We're coming back from break. We have 18 minutes left in this blind. This is part number 2, season 4, game number 11, Chase the Bracelet. And we'll get the clock started right now. 18-minute blinds, 150, 300 are the blinds.
Marco's scratching his hand. Maybe he feels like he's going to make some money.
153. Cost you more than that. Start being so cheap.
Bobby folded. He was first to act.
Make you guys bet big chips by taking small philosophy. It's a real play.
See if Marco raises his ace here.
Marco raises to 600.
Nice fold by Ed with ace 6.
Marco takes it down.
One dude that was in one of the lines to go up as half pipe. He was probably 6'2", tall, lanky guy. He got a
little different Marco tonight. Not quite
It's
used to
been
it.
very, very slow today.
Action on Mark to act first.
He's the only guy we saw playing soccer without any help. Shit.
Paul with a jack king. Paul, surprisingly more chips than I thought he had.
Paul raises to
He
600.
won a pretty good pot there when he bluffed. Who was it he bluffed? Max.
What about Max?
Not supposed to answer our questions.
I appreciate your help, Train.
They were asking.
You must somehow I know that.
I think it was softer. Not that. Softer.
What's that Pepsi with all that caffeine?
Paul takes that hand down. Feels like Bobby's just getting
Action on
punished
Paul
today.
first.
I think he's at about 2,100, 2,200 in chips down. It's going to be a rough climb for him.
Him and Dan both going to have to do something here.
I knitted this myself.
No, this is a mop on my head. It's my hair.
Paul with threes. Let's see what he does here in early position with threes.
Paul calls 300.
Good luck, Paul.
Just calls.
Robert calls 300.
Not a big fan of just calling in early position with them little pairs.
Bobby calls 300. Mark checks his option.
Robert flop stop pair.
Robert bets 11.25. Bobby folds. Action on Mark. Mark folds. Action on Paul Moskowitz. Paul folds. Suited Dan to act first.
Well, I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and make a prediction that we lose at least one player before the next break.
I'd like to agree with you, but it looks pretty rough. Corey and Max both with King Queen.
7 now.
Corey raises to 700.
Corey raises his. Ed lays down the 8-9 suited.
Max calls.
I think I might have called there in position.
Paul folds.
To the rest.
Corey now only a slight favorite. Needs to come running diamonds for Corey to take this hand.
And there's one of them. I think we'll see him bet now.
Corey bets 1100.
Max doesn't have a whole lot of chips in front of him. Corey's got about double his stacks, so
Max folds.
Max probably slightly disappointed with his play. But it's rough with an ace out there.
Oh, I know, red flags were going off all over my head.
Where are these red flags come from?
I need to
Corey
close out
to act
my
first.
business 'cause now people can see me in high def.
I did.
That's what something that seen it would say. Someone that's seen it would say.
Well, these guys are honest people. That's why they're good gentlemen. And you're trash.
Ed with ace king here. Marco with king jack.
I'm so sorry.
Marco with king jack doesn't even
Kleenex, anybody?
hesitate to fold.
Anybody want to be my new friend?
I don't hang out with trash, sorry.
I'm sorry. Don't hang out with you.
Ed raises to 700.
Your whole reputation is
Ed raises it up and should take it down.
7 total, sir. I'm sorry for laughing.
I just didn't want to say that I saw the ace in case it helped.
That's what it was, too, wasn't it? Ace club?
Ask him to move.
Marco to act first.
Black news.
10 minutes, 50 seconds left in the blinds.
What would happen if they pop one? 60% of the jokes are gone.
Exactly.
Well, that might be there might be the fist fight we were talking about.
And bring the 12.
The guns and everything.
Mark was getting his head to me again.
Bring the 12-year-old black guy.
I think it looks more like a race between Dan and Corey if they're both able to survive tonight.
Well, that's what I said. Mark and Bobby both have to make a deep run tonight.
Absolutely.
Marco's out of it. Paul and Max are
Max
pretty
raises
much
to
out.
700.
I honestly think it's going to be really, really hard for anyone but Bobby to catch Dan or Corey. Bobby's behind 15 points. And unless they have two terrible finishes, and it doesn't look like Corey's on that route at all.
Right.
Corey is definitely making a precedent to try and be Season 4 champion today.
Okay. Heads up.
Suited Dan calls. Corey folds.
Suited Dan limps in with the 3-8. And suited Dan flops bottom pair
Both players check.
and checks.
Both players check. Both Both players check.
Three. You got it.
You got it.
Go, Trey! Come through! 83.
Only reason I played.
He didn't realize he had a pair there. He thought he was on the
No, I knew that.
Oh, okay.
Robert tacked first.
He was like, I don't want to.
Very surprised Dan didn't bet there. You're going to play 8-3 of clubs and flop a pair and a flush draw.
Oh, now you want to
I think you might want to build a pot up when you're that short stacked.
Right now, me and Bobby are officially done. We're not DFS anymore. Hey, watch it.
Apparently, I'm trash.
Suited Dan with an ace jack of hearts here.
The t-shirt looks normal because he's got the sleeves cut off.
You just gotta wear the t-shirt. That's where the white
like
that's
tattoos right here. So nice.
Exactly.
And a machine gun.
Suited raises to 850.
Suited raising it up. It's on Marco in the big blind with ace-5.
How much is it? No.
950.
Marco folded.
And Marco lets it go.
No problem, Frank.
Ed Wiggler to act
Trash,
first.
bro.
You're trash, bro.
That was rough. I mean, there's
I know. That was just like.
That was almost like some truth to it. That it came out with like a quick rage. Like, you're trash. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
You're trash. I knew you touched that boy.
Yeah. And then he had to do that fake laugh to pretend he was kidding. He's like, you are trash.
Rob with ace-9, Bobby with ace-6. Not a whole lot else going on here.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I'm on your side.
I'm sorry. It's Thursday.
You're alright, Marco.
Whatever, man. I don't mind.
Corey lets the button go with jack-8 off.
I feel bad. Like,
Marco folds.
Taking you off my buddy list. Taking you off my buddy. I was
Rob
gonna
gets
fire
off.
You and your computer. It's like my favorite movie.
Me too. When it came out of theaters, I probably went and seen it 20 times.
I still watch the DVD.
I still like it.
Which one?
How High? Red Man.
So good.
He's so funny. It was the only good thing they've ever done. Everything else they did was garbage.
I don't know why it's so funny, man. It's the stupidest movie ever too. It's just so funny to me. Like I know every part of it, and I'll still laugh every time I see it.
How high?
With Red Man and Method Man.
Study hard.
Yeah,
Take the
like
test.
that, but the
Get
black.
high scores.
Not a whole lot going on here. If anybody raises it up, I think they'll take it down.
I still say that. It's only had some tennis.
Damn.
Raised to 850 by Suited Dan.
Suited Dan raises jack-7 of diamonds. Should take it down.
Folds over to Ed. Ed 550 to call.
550 more.
Ed with jack-3 offsuit.
Right. Folds. It's not like you're not up more than I've been in the last year. The last month.
Gotta use that 10K though.
Yeah. It's been such a hard ride for you the last couple of months.
rough for you.
He wants to get a seat cushion for his bike.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of those $5 Walmart deals.
Simmer in the top in there.
Oh man, I mean,
He's got true Tourette's.
If you don't want to reproduce, don't get a jealousy.
Max with ace-jack in the big blind.
Yeah, if you ever want to reproduce, don't get a jealousy.
Suited Dan with 5-6 of clubs.
so that means you get a jealousy.
It sort of kills you down there if you don't.
If you have a jealousy,
If you don't have the right seat.
if you don't have a jealousy.
Yeah, jealousy is like cushy.
Yeah, just one of
Jealousy
those
is
raising
good.
seats.
725
What
now,
he's trying to
guys.
say is jealousy is good. Everything else.
I mean, Cole, I don't know how you ride a bike, but I don't sit on my balls.
Oh, Mark with 9s. Didn't see
I know, I'm
that.
kidding.
Explain it, Clark.
They're actually studies.
Explain it, man.
Mark raises it up with 9s. First real hand Mark's had all
That's why I
night.
went from the jealousy back to the hard seat, because I don't need any more.
Your bike
He's going to get a little action here in the big blind, I would imagine, with ace-jack.
Oh, yeah. He likes sitting on just
It's got a knob like the end of a baton.
He just,
Well, it had to
he
be,
just
but it
likes
quick
those-
release. I took it
he
right
just
off.
likes little bars.
15 total. All in.
I replaced it with a
39.50.
Quick release.
Oh, man.
39.50 total or more.
39.50 total.
Mark raised an early position.
Where did this come from?
That was his.
It looks like Max re-raised out of the big blind with ace jack, and Mark jammed.
24.50 Max.
I do not like a re-raise out of the blind against an early position raise with ace jack when you're short stacked, unless you're going to jam with it. What do you do when you get re-raised? The absolute best you could be is a 50-50. I mean, a slight under, which where he is. That's what. It just he may get lucky and win this, but
Like you guys said last week, classic race.
Say, Mark.
Yeah, but he put himself in a position where he shouldn't have.
Were they on break?
Like I said, he may get lucky and win, but.
Always a sweat, Mark.
And now he's got 2 overs and a king. 2 overs and a king. Ace, jack, king, and that's it for.
Looks like an ace on
And
the
he
river.
gets lucky and wins.
Yeah, good.
Now I have a hidden. I want to root for Max secretly, just because I did play for him last week and did kind of help him out a little bit. So
So you get a free money.
And he was way.
I mean, if you 3-bet the short stack and they shove, you should expect it.
I couldn't see it stack from here. I thought you was right
Oh.
on the starting stack.
Oh!
Yeah,
I can't believe that call. That was a.
All right, Mark.
yeah, that was. He played that about as bad as you can and ended up getting lucky.
hey, sometimes even bad plays get.
Oh,
paid off.
absolutely.
We saw that last week when I got second place. So much better.
Third was really the best you could do out there,
Dude, I tried.
Ed raises to 800.
What are you in first?
That pretty well will put my horse out of the race.
It's okay. We still have a chance with mine. I think Bobby's looking to take it back upstairs. Like to see a shove.
17.50 now.
Raised to 1750.
Looks like Bobby
Hi, Bobby.
has 2,000 or so left.
More betting guys than all.
You know, his secretary and personal assistant every time freaked out. So when he didn't show, they thought, okay, maybe he just took this day. So when he didn't show up for work the next day, they called cops. They said, cops go looking for him, they go over to his apartment, and they can hear a TV or something playing, but it's still
Not sure what Ed's thinking about here.
exercise.
Bobby's got his hood up. He's definitely in poker mode now.
And there's
He means business.
It's that and he was watching Jay Cohen, and that's why the TV was showing snow because the
run
VCR had run out.
I can't.
He had gone like
Unless you're putting somebody on ace, king, ace, queen, and then you're still only 50-50.
that's an awful way to. And not only is that
So
Once again, it's the same kind of position it was in the last hand. You should just let it go.
what the hell was it? It was the official corners report said
Ed folds.
a ruptured
And we did, in fact, lose someone before
So
break.
when they left all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fair to the family. But he was single. I mean, he was single. But you know, I don't know if his parents or anybody else was around or what. Yeah, she was like, that was the most disturbing journey I've ever had to, you know.
Gotta act like you're talking. You can't just sit there.
You guys push all your greens out front.
Probably would
No
sometimes.
longer play.
He's dead in front.
When I, as soon as
Well, I
get done with
think
the
we're
game,
down to about a 3-horse race now.
No question about it. And it's only a 3-horse race if Bobby can contend. And
Right.
stay
He's got to make a
in the
deep
top
run.
finish.
He's got to make a deep run, and Dan and Corey both have to go out pretty quick. And with Corey's stack, unless he takes a horrible beat, I don't see it happening.
I also like the race.
And with Dan's stack, he's going to have to make a move here.
Where's he at, like 4?
And that's the one you were hiding, Roman?
Yep.
You're good, go ahead. Cheers. Come on. I need 5 bucks.
What do we get?
So,
Good.
We're at
3 bits.
400?
Yeah, good one. Sorry.
I just think long.
raise to 9 now.
Ed raises to 900.
Ed raising with the queen 10 of hearts.
Paul folds.
Did I get a reset? Tony?
He said, can I get it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I wonder if you just hold that till like. You ready that for?
But first knuckles.
My name's Tina.
What color? Is that yellow?
Huh?
Is that green?
It's neither.
Green, yes.
Mine's red.
I don't, the middle one's red.
Green,
Yeah,
red.
You guys colors? I don't see any colors.
Yeah, it's not.
Is yours working, TJ?
You don't see color?
Oh, wait. Yeah, hold on.
Where's the cards? Is
You
your
guys don't put your cards over me.
wireless
Hold on for a
symbol, is
second.
that green, red, or yellow?
You can look at them.
Red.
Stop.
Pause.
It's alright.
Pause the clock.
Go ahead.
Technical difficulties.
Software guy.
This is the
Technical.
one worry with running a completely live broadcast is that we could technically run into problems. Even the Super Bowl went without power. Remember that.
Their budget's a tad bit higher than ours.
Yeah. They messed up one episode, so us messing up one episode is just not so bad.
Oh, are we talking the snack or the snack?
You need to check all this.
You have 28.
You want to get it, bro?
You kick a score?
Bobby was just trying to make an excuse to get in.
Why are you looking at me?
Nothing.
I think Mark said to hell with all you guys and ripped some wires out on his way out.
Likes that squirrel on his shirt.
I don't even know what that means.
Is that underneath the table, honey?
I didn't. Alright, guys, slide your cards over your spots, please.
To remind everybody, Facebook.com/Chase the Bracelet.
We're good.
We'd love to hear any sort of feedback you might have for us, even if it's negative.
You did it too.
Especially if it's negative.
Especially if it's negative. If you don't like how Paul Boston looks, we can get rid of him next season.
Absolutely.
19 total.
Let us
Robert
know in the
raises to
comments.
1900. Lines are 200, 400, 14 minutes, 50 seconds left in the
Rob
blind.
makes a huge raise with ace-6 suited.
5 extra, huh?
That's 5x.
All players fold. Robert takes it down.
I want the exact suggestion.
About right, actually.
Marco to act first.
Not about right.
No.
Oh, you are such a loser. I know. You like having a
No, I want the exact.
I'd like to congratulate Trevor Greenwald from last week, our guest commentator. He won a seat last night to a $1,500 World Series of Poker event.
Ask Corey.
That was a cool post.
Corey, what's the exact number on that? On what? He raised it to 19. It's not 5 to 1. What is it? 19. On 4 is the big line. You're 4, by the way, not 3. Sorry.
Hoping I can talk him into selling 10% of himself to me.
That's the only way you have of making money in poker anymore, Paul.
Exactly.
You have to buy pieces of
Yeah.
players now.
Get some stake horses going.
Yeah, Bobby knows how to work that.
Bobby knows.
Suited Dan going this weekend to
Bobby
play in
raises to
the
800.
to Philadelphia to play in the World Series of Poker Circuit main event, $1,600 buy-in event.
Oh yeah, that's what they told you.
You ever watch that Palm Stars show?
Oh, yeah.
They had some guy.
400 for Corey to
Or no,
call.
I'm sorry. This was actually the storage.
Corey raises to 2,000.
They found 3 of them. 2 of them were storage, but the other one was the original, the very first HP computerized watch. And it was like
She got like fucking shit ton of money.
yeah, it was like $5,000 for this thing because it had a little stylus. And shit. I mean, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
they were like, oh, it's great condition.
Bobby folds.
I mean, like, you think I'm gonna pay? Well, they bought it for $5,000. You think I'm paying way more than that to buy this watch? And the joke is on you. Going on the Walmart, I'm buying you one for $7.99. Sell the exact same time.
But it doesn't have stylus.
Calculus.
I'll buy one of those. I'll buy one of those for $11.99.
Or something wrapped in, maybe
Oh,
more wrapped around his room.
Actually, I'll just
And
get
that
it
was one of
too,
the
same
bonus
size.
questions at the end of the test. What is like the 17th decimal of pi? And it's literally out there. And so many kids would come up to him, why? How am I supposed to know this? Why?
Idiots.
And he just look up, stare at it, Marco.
Idiots, you don't know what that is.
I'm like, I don't have to.
Meanwhile, Marco
Yeah,
going up
for another.
I don't know. We only get 4 pieces of pie out of the whole one.
Meanwhile, Marco's in the slopes last out in the road.
Suited Dan with Jack 10. Let's see if he raises his
And Marco might raise.
Suited Dan raises to 900. Small blind folds.
Marco's
500 for
been
Marco to
playing
call.
really tight. Oh, wait a minute.
See, it's. Oh, we were hoping, Marco.
Marco folded. 11 minutes, 30 seconds left in the blinds. Blinds are
Nothing
200
feels better
400.
than peeling one off with a 7-2. It just makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside.
I'm not sure what Marco's plan is here tonight.
Ed down first.
I mean, it's not like he can play for points.
I-
Even if he wins the next two, he still can't win.
I absolutely think Marco's playing for the money. There is money at stake every week, and I feel like Marco finally figured that out.
Look at these idiots. This is great propaganda film to show how stupid these guys really are.
Raised to 800 by Ed.
Ed raises under the gun, I think, here, doesn't he? Yes, he does. With King Jack. He raises under the gun with King Jack.
Just a stealth mission. 4 days ago. Okay.
Robert calls.
And Rob calls with King 8.
One in there. I'm gonna show you how to.
And he said, what's the name back over there?
What's his name?
Kim Jong-un. No, or... Scotty Pippen? Yeah.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis
Ed
Rodman.
making a
Ed bets 800.
continuation
Robert
bet.
folds.
I like that. It's a good play.
Like I said, Bobby proved it early on in the game is that you can't be afraid of an ace or more.
Oh, absolutely.
Matt stacked first.
That was like the laugh that Train did after he called me trash.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're tricked. Ha ha.
Just kidding.
Ha, ha, ha.
Just kidding.
I'm kidding, man. Ha, ha.
Damn it, Bobbin.
God, that was well there.
Oh, you mean good?
All the aces and everything on here. So there's like one person on it.
It's better than calling the tightest player ever all in. Like an ace.
Robert calls from the small blind. Ed checks his option.
So, there's more time.
Study poker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Check.
Nobody flops anything here.
All players check. All players check again. 800 bet by Robert.
Rob bets from the straight.
Takes it down.
Isn't there an extra side? I think I can be. Yeah. He admitted it. I hate the straight, but I didn't want to straight.
That's how they follow the computers back there, exercise like.
Oh my god.
That's not part of my Xbox.
Bobby to act first.
Uh-oh, Paul with aces, suited Dan with ace queen, Marco with fours. I think suited Dan might go broke here. He'll shove here when Paul raises.
Raised to 800 by Paul Moskowitz.
You did in fact hear Max say Paul has aces. Train kind of gave him a dirty look there.
Suited Dan raises to 1800.
Train checking the volume on his earphones. That always worries me.
Oh my
Paul Moskowitz
God.
all
It's
in.
a Moscow shove.
See, that's where Paul should have just called.
It's a tough battle between Paul and Dan all the time.
When Paul does that, there's only like one hand he's got.
Well, I think for Dan it just comes down to if Paul's going to shove against anybody, he's probably going to shove against him.
4,200.
Even if it's a pure bluff.
4,200 for suited Dan.
Just to kind of have that edge on Dan. They always seem to like to battle back and forth.
I think Dan will let it go here.
You can see Paul sporting
Oh,
a lovely
no, he
chase.
won't.
Suited Dan calls.
Yeah, that's the only hand.
Dan has dodged these bullets before.
You can't get it in much worse here.
Suited Dan at risk.
Yes, this is what I mean. 4 hearts. I needed this to happen. This is the fate. Now I need it. Well, I needed you to not lose Betty Bats Day. Oh, it's never easy.
Dan needs a runner.
Bingo. Uh-oh, more outs.
Uh-oh.
Queen
For
of
two
clubs on the
outs here.
turn.
Queen and queen alone.
Bingo.
And Dan's out.
And that's 7 on the river. All but kills.
Suited Dan out in 8th place.
Slide into the cooler, Corey.
6 minutes, 18 seconds left in the blind.
Dan just worried that Corey goes on third.
No, he was tied for first. He's 2 away from the straight. It was 1 away from
He's still filled enough hands. He can definitely finish well.
Well, Dan needs Corey to go out real quick.
You're not going to
Have a chance.
Max with jacks.
I had to make sure my shit was not
Action on Moskowitz.
pulling off my head like this.
Folds.
So far, nobody wants to stop and talk tonight.
Now I
after-
did, however, notice that last week everybody came to want to talk to Trevor. I feel kind of bad after beating up on these guys last week. Now they don't want to come talk to me.
Well, that might be a little bit of it, but I think it's the realization that they don't have any chance of winning.
Ed raises to 800.
Ed raises with ace deuce to 800. Max has jacks.
Max raises to 1800.
Max says 1,000 more if you want to play. And just stays solid. Just goes into this mode of, I have a really big hand. Don't think you want anything to do with this.
Play you like a fiddle.
Now this is a raise I like.
Just not gonna stroke your string.
Pluck your string.
Pluck your bow.
Rope climbing.
Ed fold.
Ed giving a little Hollywood there.
Says, my ace deuce might be good, but I doubt it.
No, I love the sound effect when you take off my hoodie. Hey, thanks, bro.
Hey, bro, no problem, bro.
Trash.
Under your breath and shit. Like, hey, man, thanks, man.
Ed with fours here.
This is where somebody's got to start stealing blinds.
Ed calls 400.
I think Ed got a little gun shy there. He's been re-raised a couple times, raising late position.
Paul Moskowitz checks his option.
Looks like Bobby let that go for the minimum.
Oh, wow.
Heads up.
This could get to be a fairly big pot.
7 on the turn is deadly.
Paul bet 700. Ed calls 700.
I'd love to see Paul bet again here.
Paul bets 500.
I don't like that bet. That just shows.
I don't understand that bet.
Ed calls 500.
That's just scared bet is what that is. Oh.
Paul firing again. I think that 500 bet on the turn was definitely a big mistake.
Yeah, absolutely.
1200 bet by Paul.
Ed absolutely positive he has the best hand here.
I'd like to see just a min raise.
Ed raises to 2400.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's got a chance of getting called.
Be a bet. 28.
Is he thinking about it? I think he wants to get it all in here.
No, Paul's folding. Golf ball off, looks, folds. There we go.
Paul folds.
It's the right play.
No, you locked me up on
No, I think if you put a big enough bet there on the turn, you might win it, Paul.
I think you definitely scare him away on the turn. With 3 overs and one of them being an ace on the board.
Yeah.
That 500 bet on the turn was a huge mistake by Paul.
You put a 3/4 to a pot-sized bet out there, and he just doesn't have the right odds to call. Bobby with ace-king.
Bobby seems to be playing more like Paul tonight and just waiting for these big hands.
4 to go, guys.
Finally got a big hand, but I don't think he's going to get any action.
43.
Bobby all
trying-
in 4300.
Bobby trying to make it look like a bluff.
Stu's putting it in there.
No, he made the big overbet there, trying to make it look like a bluff.
2, 4, 3, 6, 36.
Lines are up 300, 600. 18 minutes left in the lines.
Rob with 9s in the big blind. Not too much else going on there, though. As somebody... This Corey tries to steal from the button here. Nope.
Marco calls. Robert all in. Marco folds.
Booyah.
Robert shows 9s. Max stack first.
Nope. That was yours. Yep, that was yours. Nah, it's all random. It's random.
It's not a switch card.
Marco with 4s. Not a whole lot else going on. Expect him to raise it up.
Marco all in 2300. 3300.
Not sure what Ed's hesitation here is.
Joe just random.
This ladder would be.
You might be putting Marco in a really big place. Marco shows the force. Ed doesn't really care.
Moskowitz sack first.
You ever play double flop with him?
I mean, even if he's bluffing with Jack 3, he's still the favorite.
Correct.
So with high stakes Monopoly.
High stakes Monopoly. I only played it once, shipped it, never played it again.
I'm still waiting for that high stakes Strategia.
Yeah, you're probably good.
Yeah, that's still pretty good.
Bobby with the ace deuce here, he lets it go.
Do they really have a Monopoly game in the casino?
Ed with 3-5 suited.
No, they have it. What you should call and ask them.
Like to see a raise here.
Could you tell me where the high stakes
Don't limp it. Raise.
High stakes Monopoly.
Ed calls 600.
Do you have the high stakes Scrabble also?
Max checks his option.
Excuse me, sir, but I am the study dog. You have the thimble.
Which one was the inside, which one they're getting rid of?
I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
Remember they were getting rid of one and they were voting on it.
And Max stops top card.
The iron?
We got rid of the iron.
Yeah, that's it's a little
Max
bit
bet 600. Ed folds.
Yeah, they might be good. Iron.
Corey to act first.
I voted for the lawn boy with the lantern.
Romeo?
We were always like, Romy, come on, you gotta buy some riding silks and just stand in my front yard for an hour. I'll pay you.
We do it all the time.
Marco, pocket queen.
Marco calls 600.
Just calls. Let's see if Bobby tries to make a move here out of the big blind. No, he doesn't.
Well, you have to be worried when a player like Marco just calls. It's just completely out of the norm. But with a flop like that, you have to be thankful.
Marco all in.
And Marco shoves it.
And Bobby snap calls.
Bobby with the straight.
You know, what are you gonna do?
Nice limp, Marco. Nice limp.
What am I gonna do in front of the kids?
Bobby
Well-
commenting on Marco's limp.
Well, let's
Marco
have
is.
running clubs here, Train. Running clubs.
Let's not. My horse is still in the race.
Oh,
We don't need this.
club, queen, or 4.
We don't need this.
He'll do it to you. Trash. There it is.
King of diamonds on the river.
I was going to say, had Bobby lost that hand, I think I was in danger of quitting. I cannot
Marco at the
cannot
seventh
leave my
place.
horse alone.
Sorry, Marco.
And with that finish, Marco is just about locked up last place.
Marco has indeed locked up last place.
Sorry, dude. I gotta kneel you, dude. Can I call here without
Robert putting the sunglasses on,
straight already?
just for dramatics.
I don't know if I. I mean, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Bobby with an
Because
ace-8.
now it's forever stone. Like, that you're
I
always,
don't think
you
Marco's
always
ever
put
going to
that on.
realize you can get a lot of information off just bet.
It's on me.
Well,
Instead of just shoving.
he had the overpair, and I don't think you put Bobby on a 5-6 there.
Well, even if he's
Bobby
got
raises to
73,
1500.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll
You
take
can-
the mother retard.
Bobby finally realizing who his big blind is.
Paul folds.
You move all in. The only thing that calls you beats you.
Yes.
You can find out a lot of information just bet.
Definitely could have saved a lot of money. Well, I don't know, though. I mean, it's tough
Robert
not to put all
Johnson.
your money in when you have queens in that situation.
I know, but I mean, if you're going to slow play a hand, you got to be ready
Everything that comes, I'm like,
Oh, there's
to
9
get
more
away
rounds.
from
Thanks, Trey.
Corey with ace queen.
Find the
12 more rounds there with that one.
Corey just picking up hands when he needs to today.
Rob with ace 8.
Robert
And
all in.
moves all in.
It's like 38
Well,
back here.
Think he's going to get a call.
unless Rob
3,900
gets real
for
lucky
Robert.
here, he's going to be the next one out. Because Corey will
Bless you.
absolutely call him.
Corey calls.
I had an ace.
39 total.
I had an ace.
Robert knowing is less than 25, almost 25% to win this hand. It's 30% to win.
I'm rooting for you, man.
I know you are.
I think everybody here.
Robert at risk.
I want to cripple him. Punish him.
I'm by
Eight to win.
Everybody rooting against him.
Everybody in there. Oh, and 8 hits. And
There was a hand like this last week where I flopped and Robert happened to turn it. And
I got it. 2 hours. Here it comes.
And Robert.
Corey is
Robert out
just
in 6th place.
doing what he needs to do today.
I had an
I
ace.
tell you what, if Corey should happen to win tonight, it'll lock it up.
Whoa, that was
Is that
cool.
mine? Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's yours to fold.
Stop throwing shit, Rob. It's only a game.
I think you just slammed my phone with
He did.
And if he finishes second, Sudan has to win next week.
Correct. Sudan all but has to, it's going to be a very
Max
hard
stack first.
one to beat. Bobby still has a good chance, depending on his position today, but he's still 15 points behind. So to outscore Corey, Corey will have to go out in 8th place next
Bobby
week.
raises
And Bobby first.
1,200.
Help me out.
I'm in. Limp.
Corey takes it down. I'm sorry, Bobby takes it down.
Yes, we can't have Corey win them all.
Bobby to act first.
Max with ace-8 in the
Paul
big
with
blind.
6s.
Corey with king-queen. He's been raising king-queen, playing it pretty hard tonight.
1,800.
I want a cat. I think my dog needs a cat.
1,800.
Paul raises to 1,800.
Let's see what Corey does with king-queen here.
That's what my dog needs.
Corey's best play is to put them all in.
Have a good week, everyone. Next week. See ya.
He's not coming back either. No visitors today. Oh,
See you, Marco.
Huh?
Must be you.
it must be.
We had 4 or 5 people at a time in there last week.
They can get used to it. They can get used to growing up with a dog, I guess.
Corey just call.
Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works.
Corey called 2 players.
I would just hate to get a cat and like a dog and cat and go on. That's the choice.
50-50.
And he flops top pair.
Of course.
Rami too.
He's running good tonight. I'll give him that. He's playing good too, though.
Playing very well. He's definitely playing well when he needs to win the tournament.
Both players check.
Oh, and he checks top pair.
I just love a cat because they're so low.
And Paul still checks.
You want to look
She bite you?
Lovingly.
spicy.
That's 24.
2,400 bet by Corey.
Corey with a two-handed bet.
It's like feels so good that it's like just kind of push. My dog does that. My dog like wants you to rub his stomach, and then once you start rubbing his stomach, like pushes.
Paul's slowing down. It's very suspicious bet.
Stop. He's like, why'd you stop? Yeah, why'd you pushing me away, bro?
Corey just super comfortable. Doesn't really care what's going to happen with Paul. Kind of gets in conversation with Bobby and
2,400 from Osquist to call.
Paul's folding.
golf ball off. Look at the cards. Golf ball on. Holly Wooden. Down. Typical Paul.
Picked up a hard draw and straight draw. That's sick.
Looks like Corey did show one card.
Showed a queen.
shows the queen.
Good luck, Paul. Good luck, guys. Good luck, Max.
Feel it, Robert. Take it easy.
Corey trying to stick the needle in there. I like that.
The resident hound Jack in the back.
Yeah, good luck.
Maybe I thought I was.
Moskowitz sack first.
Do you base your line decisions off of what I do?
Yeah, because I was paying attention.
Big in your trash.
Corey with queens.
Max with a Jack King though, and Bobby with King Queen. Dangerous.
Like that? Didn't like it.
And the blinds both with King, Queen, and King Jack.
13.
I think Bobby's very,
1300
very able to
raised by
get away
Corey.
from it though.
Call by Max.
Yeah, I know
think he knows
Max.
what the raise and the
Max
call.
absolutely wasn't even thinking about folding.
Bobby has to feel behind.
She likes me.
He's played enough to know that King Queen is no good here. You want to play it,
I like the fold.
but you know better.
I like the fold.
That's right. 2 players.
Action on Max, who checks.
Corey looking at his chips. It's usually an indication they're going to bet. Love to see Max re-raise here.
Corey bets 1800, Max folds.
Why did you call, man? That's 3
Tough to
Corey
beat
back
somebody.
first.
Tough to beat
4
somebody
minutes, 20 seconds left in the blind.
when they're playing good and running good.
Blinds are 300, 600.
When you're playing good and catching the deck too.
I think you're full of shit, Bobby.
Yeah, call me King Jack.
That's what I had.
Max with 7-9 hearts here.
I guess.
I'd like to see him raise here.
Max trillion. 13 now.
Max bets 1300.
Yeah, I like that.
Oxford.
Nice play.
Max takes it down.
And Paul doesn't even think about playing the 2-3 suited.
Ed is just kind of skimping along here,
first.
not trying to get mixed up when he doesn't have to.
Ed just playing his steady, solid game. Mixing it up every now and then. Corey with 8s now. Bobby with an ace-9.
Paul with a Jack Queen.
I think we'll see Bobby absolutely raise a button here. And I would not be surprised
Bobby raises to 1300.
to see Corey re-raise here. Especially if Paul just calls.
And Paul lets it go.
Corey, what's going on? Oh, you made a change.
Yeah, he made my change, yeah.
Corey thinking about what to do here.
700 for Corey to call. Corey all in.
And Corey re-raises all in.
Corey playing the big chip stay. Corey knows that he can put Bobby to it just because Bobby has to make the points here.
Well, and also if he just raises, a little bit, Bobby can take it off. He's got enough chips back to take one off and see if he can flop something.
Action on Bobby.
8s is a very vulnerable hand.
He was all joking and laughing before.
I really like the all in. Puts all the pressure back on Bobby now.
Yeah, I'm not risking a fold. It's way too big.
Takes position out of the hand and
The hardest decision to make is the one for all your money.
Bobby
Yep.
folds.
Never shows.
Bobby, absolutely right. No reason to show your cards.
yeah, that's
Corey's scared to play post flop with me.
Bobby trying. It's a great play.
He has to defend his play somehow.
Yeah. It's a great play by Corey.
Yes.
Max tack first.
You put the pressure back on him.
Someone needs to remind Bobby what happens when you play post flop against him. He loses to quads.
How much can I top off for? We're on break, guys. 1 minute.
We got a break coming up in 1 minute.
Make sure you cash chips, let PJ know what you got.
Yeah, Bobby doesn't like it when other people put the pressure back.
Absolutely
not.
He likes to be the one putting the pressure on.
4,900.
As you should. That's winning poker is aggressive poker.
Well, that's Doyle Brunson.
folds.
I mean, in the original Super System.
Time for one more hand before break.
Said the hardest thing, the best way to play is to put a man on the test for all his chips.
I feel like you had like nines. No, you didn't have nines.
Bobby with the big hand this time of tens.
13.
Bobby races to 1,300.
And
Looks like he's going to take some blinds and go.
Let's see if Max calls. Queen 9. This is the kind of hand. Yeah, Max he
calls.
plays way too many hands like this.
Max tack first.
He just gives no respect to under the gun early position raises. And then flops top pair.
And then flops
That's
top
about
pair.
the third hand. I don't think he should have called a raise.
I think the best thing he does, though, is check it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he's going to entice Bobby to bet here. And
player like Bobby's
Bobby bets 1,300.
now you notice Max takes no time and
Call by
just
Max.
instantly calls him. That should be a dead giveaway for Bobby.
Yeah, I think Bobby will slow down now.
Both players check.
Yeah, that's about the third or fourth hand, I think. That might.
Max all in.
Max with two pairs.
Well, see,
and then
why would you
pushes
do
all.
that? Bobby's played a hand like he had a big ace. Oh, he had two pair.
Yes.
I didn't see the two pair.
6,500.
Okay.
Goes Max. Calling C-bet base high. Per usual.
Bobby
Okay.
not much liking his spot in this hand now.
Well, I mean,
I just want to snap it off so bad. What I do.
Bobby makes the fold.
Shows his
Yeah,
tens.
so I thought you had a niner.
Max
Oh,
shows
Max
a nine.
sticks the needle in.
Dangerous. He loves looking dangerous.
Bobby folded.
Yeah.
Bobby
Right,
walking
we're
away
on break.
angry.
We'll be back in about
We
10
will
minutes.
return
Bobby
shortly,
is tilting.
and we'll get back to the action.
Bye, Kitty.